Obsequium pauperum, two Latin words meaning an awareness and willingness to serve those in poverty. And poverty in this, the oldest sense of the word, means the absence of something important and essential. There's no form of need more absolute and painful than that of the sick person, the person suffering from poor health, the sick person of any era, race or belief. These are the people the Knights of Malta have been serving for 9 centuries. From the Holy Land to the Mediterranean, and then later from their new centre of operations in Italy. Reaching out to an ever-changing world, the order has also changed, but to a lesser degree. The doctor's white coat has replaced the knight's chainmail, but the 8-pointed cross is still there. It symbolises the perennial modernity of a mission that spans the centuries, and which will always have meaning as long as there is a human being who suffers. The Order of Malta is a global humanitarian institution which runs 20 hospitals and thousands of medical and welfare centres in over 120 countries. In Africa alone, its programs are present in 35 countries. It can count on 13,000 members, 80,000 volunteers, and around 20,000 doctors and paramedics. There are 12 priories and 47 national associations. It has diplomatic relations with 104 countries and with the most important international organizations. Within the closely woven fabric of the Order's humanitarian structures gleams 11 medical and social centers in Lebanon, created to reduce the poverty and isolation of the most disadvantaged. It is here that for over 50 years, Christians and Muslims have given daily assistance to the elderly, children and the disabled, regardless of religion, origin and community. Also in the Middle East, another precious jewel is the maternity hospital in Bethlehem. The hospital stands in the cradle of Christianity, where the first hospitalers of the Middle Ages dedicated their lives to what they fittingly called our Lords the Sick. In a part of the world which is currently at a crossroads of strained relations and bloody conflicts, the Order has cultivated an oasis of life and hope, where expectant mothers of every religion find care and comfort, and where over 50,000 children have been born in the past 20 years.
Well, of course, it takes us back to where we started. After all, that's where the Order comes from. It comes from the Holy Land originally. So, of course, it's very appropriate that we are still concerned with what goes on there. And we, I hope, provide a really useful contribution to what goes on in a very difficult part of the world. It's extremely interesting that by far the largest number of people whose babies are delivered there are from Muslim families rather than from Christian, or indeed from Jewish families. So that in itself is extremely interesting from our point of view. And I think that we make a pretty good contribution to life, the very difficult life which most people lead in the West Bank.
In Africa and Southeast Asia, the Order has taken up the challenge of consigning to the history books the ancient but now curable disease of leprosy. In the United States, Chile and Guatemala, the Order runs establishments to assist the most disadvantaged children, single mothers and young people in need. In Europe, it works with the aged, drug addicts and the homeless. Its commitment is very much appreciated by the European Union. In February 2009, this led to the Commission signing a cooperation agreement with the Order. During the First and Second World Wars, the Order of Malta performed invaluable work in defending human life. Known for its field hospitals, it was most famous for its hospital trains, which transported thousands of wounded soldiers from the battlefront to the local hospitals. The traditional activity of helping refugees and victims of conflicts continues in the wars of our own time, from the crisis of the Great Lakes region in Africa to the Balkans, from El Salvador to Vietnam, and more recently in Afghanistan and in the Darfur region of the Sudan, threatened by genocide. Briton Fra Matthew Festing was elected Grand Master of the Order of Malta in March 2008. During his overseas trips in 2010, he saw at first hand the activities run by the Order in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the population suffers from one of the most cruel conflicts in Africa. He also visited Kenya, where the Order is assisting hundreds of orphans, victims of the HIV/AIDS epidemic, giving sanitary assistance in the slums and in the prisons. For half a century, Malteser International, the Order's international relief corps, has been addressing great emergencies, whether they be natural disasters, epidemics, or armed conflicts. Today it runs more than 200 humanitarian and cooperative projects in Africa, Asia, and South America. It was among the first organizations to come to the aid of Haiti after the earthquake that caused over 230,000 casualties. Its humanitarian program there will last at least 3 years. The plan includes basic health support, vaccination campaigns, psychosocial assistance, access to drinking water, and poverty reduction. The prerogatives of being a sovereign state and its international character guarantee the continuity of the Order's vocation. The Order enjoys special ties with Italy, which welcomed it as an exile from Malta nearly 2 centuries ago. Italy allowed it to establish 2 extraterritorial government seats in Rome. Today, the Italian Association supports tens of medical and specialized centers, such as diabetes units or the Hospital of St. John the Baptist in Rome, a national point of reference for neurorehabilitation and stroke victims. After the earthquake of Aquila in 2009, the Order of Malta played a major role running 2 camps of displaced persons, employing 900 staff over 6 months. In the Channel of Sicily, volunteer doctors and nurses of the Order board Coast Guard patrol boats to find and treat immigrants often dehydrated and malnourished. In the island of Lampedusa, the Grand Master listened to the stories of refugees, how for whole days they had lived without food or water before reaching the island. During the Grand Master's visit, the President of the Italian Republic, Giorgio Napolitano, praised the generosity of the members of the Order.
Nell'esprimere dunque la mia sincera ammirazione per il sovrano militare ordine di Malta, desidero concludere rendendo omaggio ai suoi membri, volontari e operatori che agiscono in alcuni dei luoghi più pericolosi del pianeta. Alcuni di loro hanno sacrificato la vita all'amore per il prossimo e alla tutela dei più deboli. Sono esempi a cui sempre ispirarsi.
Serving humanity in its fragility and upholding its dignity. This great mission is guaranteed by the institutional sovereignty of the Order of Malta, the indispensable basis for its humanitarian mission. The Order of Malta has always kept its Catholic identity. Nearly 1,000 years after its foundation, the 8-pointed cross, a symbol of the 8 Beatitudes of the Gospel, still represents to the world the commitment to serve the poor and the sick. The Order's diplomatic activity with over 100 countries guarantees dedication and trustworthiness in its humanitarian missions.
It's a question of developing what we do in the most effective way. That's how we differ, of course, from other aid organizations, because a great many of them don't have the ability to talk direct to governments and don't indeed know the diplomats, don't know the people in the various ministries, foreign ministries, health ministries, and so forth around the world. If we have an effective and well-qualified diplomatic service, and of course we do know those people, and that makes everything so much easier. So it's certainly something which we wish to continue to develop as time goes on.
It is this dependability which, in war zones, clears the way for the ambulances with the Maltese Cross, which gives organizations and governments the confidence to finance projects sponsored by the Order, and which enables the Knights of Malta to be faithful to themselves and to their mission.